Talking Trees with Lily and Jad. Welcome to Talking Trees. In today's episode, we explore insights from two key sources on professional tree care. One source highlights the American Society of Consulting Arborists, ASCA, as an authoritative body uniting experts dedicated to tree health and safety. The other, from Arbor Consulting LLC, carefully distinguishes between the roles of arborist, certified arborist, consulting arborist, and registered consulting arborist, emphasizing that ASCA membership is essential for earning the prestigious RCA title. Join us as we uncover the standards and expertise shaping the future of arboriculture.
Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to do a deep dive into a topic that I think a lot of you are going to find pretty interesting. We're talking about the American Society of Consulting Arborists.
ASCA.
ASCA. Now you might be thinking, okay, another certification?
Right.
But ASCA is a little bit different, and we're going to dig into what makes them unique, especially what sets their Registered Consulting Arborists apart. The RCAs.
Yeah. I mean, what I find so fascinating about them is that they're not just focused on, the practical skills of tree care, like how to prune a tree or how to climb. They're really diving deep into the science.
Right, the whole ecosystem.
Exactly. The risks, the long-term health of trees. It's a much broader perspective.
And they actually call themselves, I was looking at their website, the authoritative experts on trees.
Bold statement.
Yeah, pretty bold. So let's break that down. What does that actually mean for, let's say you're an arborist listening to this?
Well, think of it this way. You're an ASCA certified arborist, which is great. You've got the skills, you've got the knowledge. But then you get a call about, let's say, this historic oak tree.
Oh, yeah. The tricky ones.
Right. And maybe it's got some kind of rare disease or it's threatening a property line.
Uh-oh.
This is where ASCA comes in because their members, especially those RCAs, they're the specialists. They have that in-depth knowledge to handle those really complex situations.
So that's where that consulting part really comes into play. They're not necessarily always doing the hands-on work, but they're providing that expertise, maybe even like testifying court cases.
Oh, absolutely. ASCA's all about ensuring tree safety, health, and preservation. But at a much higher level. I mean, their members are sought after by everyone, homeowners, developers, lawyers, even other arborists.
It's like having that extra credential, that RCA after your name, gives you a real leg up.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It shows that you've gone above and beyond. You're not just competent, you're a recognized expert.
So I was on their website, and I saw that they've got their annual conference coming up on December 7th, 10th, 2025.
Oh, nice.
Maybe a good opportunity if you're listening to this to go and
network
and just see what it's all about. See if maybe becoming an RCA is something that you would want to do.
Absolutely.
All right, so we've got all these different types of arborists out there. Not all certifications are created equal.
Right.
And we've got this great article from Arbor Consulting that kind of lays it all out. So let's break it down a little bit. What are the key differences between, let's say, your average arborist, an ISA certified arborist, and then ASCA's consulting arborists, especially those with the RCA credential?
Okay, so think about it like this. Anyone can call themselves an arborist, right? But to be a certified arborist, you have to prove your knowledge and skills through the ISA. And that means you've got years of experience, you pass a pretty tough exam, and you keep up with continuing education. ASCA, though, takes it further. They're really focused on that next level, the consulting arborist who can analyze those complex situations, write detailed reports, and really understand the science behind everything.
So ICE is like your foundation, and then ASCA is building on that foundation, specializing.
Exactly. And to become an RCA, that's the pinnacle of that specialization. I mean, you're talking about graduating from their consulting academy, hundreds of continuing education units, and even having your actual consulting reports reviewed by experienced RCAs. It's a really rigorous process.
Wow. 420 CEUs.
It's a lot.
That's a whole extra degree's worth. I mean, what keeps these RCAs motivated to do all of that?
Well, honestly, I think for a lot of them, it's about really pushing their own boundaries, becoming the best in their field. And there are definitely rewards that come with that. Higher fees, you get to work on more challenging projects, you got the respect of your peers, but it's not for everyone.
Right. Right. All right. So we've established that ASCA is all about that high-level expertise. But I'm curious, just to kind of rewind a little bit, where did this organization even come from?
We don't have specific historical details in our source material for this episode, but we can look at the trends in the industry. As our cities are growing, trees are becoming more and more integrated into urban planning, and the demand for these specialists who can understand the complexities, it's just naturally increasing. So ASCA kind of emerged from that need.
So they saw a gap, a need for arborists who were more than just tree trimmers. and they created the pathway for people to become those experts.
Exactly.
Okay, so getting back to those different levels of arborists, I know you said ISA is like the foundation and then add a build on that, but I'm curious, how do they actually differ in terms of, the requirements, what each certification focuses on? Because I'm guessing if you're listening to this and you're already ISA certified, you might be thinking, well, is ASCA right for me?
Yeah, that's the big question, right?
Yeah. Okay, so can you help our listeners kind of picture this? What's a day in the life like for, your typical ISA certified arborist versus an ASCA registered consulting arborist? What kind of projects are they working on?
Sure. So your typical ISO certified arborist, you're probably going to find them out in the field a lot. Climbing, pruning, maybe managing tree crews.
The hands-on stuff.
Exactly.
Keeping our urban forest alive.
Exactly. Now, an RCA, their day might look a little different. They might be assessing a construction site.
Oh, okay.
To see how they can minimize the impact on the trees, or maybe writing a report about a hazardous tree for a legal case.
Oh, wow.
Or even consulting with city planners on urban forestry policies.
So they're kind of dealing with, like, the trickier stuff.
Right.
Where you need that deep knowledge to make the right decisions.
Yeah, exactly. And you see that difference reflected in the requirements, too. So we know from that Land Arbor consulting article, to become an ISA certified arborist, you need at least 3 years of experience. You got to pass that 200-question exam and then keep up with 30 continuing education units every 3 years.
Which is a lot.
Yeah.
That's no joke.
But then ASCA is even more.
It is. To even just become an ASCA member, you need 5 years of experience or a relevant degree or a ton of continuing education. And then if you want to become an RCA, you have to graduate from their consulting academy, rack up those 420 CEUs, and then have your reports scrutinized by, like, the pros. It's pretty intense.
What kind of person does it take to thrive in that kind of environment?
The RCAs that I've met, they're not just tree lovers.
Right.
They are, but they're also problem solvers.
Uh-huh.
They're detail-oriented, they love to do research, and they're not afraid of a challenge. They're the kind of people that get excited when they come across a complex tree issue, like it's a puzzle to solve.
So not just brawn, but brains, too.
Right. You got to have those analytical skills.
And communication skills.
Oh, right, because you're consulting.
Yeah, you got to be able to explain those complex issues to clients, lawyers, city officials, sometimes even to juries.
So that report writing review, that's not just about proper grammar.
Oh, no.
It's about making sure you can really get your point across.
Exactly. It's all connected.
Okay, so you mentioned the Consulting Academy. What actually happens there? What kind of training do they do?
It's a pretty intensive program. It covers everything from advanced tree risk assessment to, like, the actual techniques of writing those reports. Ethics, even legal considerations. They bring in these seasoned RCAs, lawyers, all kinds of experts to really give those aspiring consultants all the tools they need to succeed.
Wow, they don't mess around?
No, they're serious about it.
It sounds like they're really trying to set these people up to be leaders.
That's the goal.
Okay, so we've talked about the different paths, the challenges, the rewards, but I'm curious, how would someone who's already ISA certified know if ASCA is the right path for them? How do they even start to figure that out?
Well, there's no easy answer. It really comes down to your personal goals, what you want out of your career, even your personality.
Some soul searching?
A little bit, yeah. Ask yourself, do I enjoy diving deep into, like, the science of trees? Am I the kind of person who gets fascinated by complex problems? Do I want to be that go-to expert?
Right, the person everyone calls when things get complicated.
Exactly. And are you willing to put in the work? Because we've established it's not a quick process.
It's a commitment.
It is.
But for the right person, it sounds like it could be really rewarding.
Oh, for sure. Professionally and personally.
All right, well, we've laid out the path, the challenges, the rewards, but I think our listeners would love to hear from some people who've actually gone through it.
Yeah, some real-world experience.
Yeah, so we reached out to a few around the country, and I asked them, how has becoming an RCA changed your work, like your day-to-day? And some of their responses were pretty amazing.
Oh, I bet.
One RCA, she told me that before she got her RCA, she was working mostly with residential clients.
Okay.
But now she's consulting on these huge development projects, making sure that the trees are being considered right from the start.
That's a big change.
Yeah, it's a totally different ballgame. And another RCA, he told me that he actually testified in court as an expert witness. And his report on a hazardous tree, it actually saved a park from being torn down. They were going to bulldoze it for a new development. And aside from those big, high-profile projects, a lot of the RCAs I talked to said that even their day-to-day interactions with clients have changed.
In what way?
Well, they get more respect. People really listen to what they have to say. And frankly, they can charge more.
Makes sense. They've got that RCA after their name.
Exactly. So I also asked them, is it just about the career boost? Or is there something more?
Yeah, like, is there a sense of personal satisfaction?
Exactly. And that's what really came through in all these conversations. They're proud to be RCAs. One guy actually compared it to getting his master's degree. Like, it was this huge achievement for him.
Yeah, it's a lot of hard work to earn that designation.
Right. Now, they were also honest about the challenges, like keeping up with all those CEUs, that can be tough.
Oh yeah, 420 is no joke.
It's a lot to juggle, especially when you're already busy with work. But they all said that as an RCA, you never really stop learning. You're always reading the latest research, going to conferences, staying on top of your game.
Which is probably what keeps it interesting, right?
Yeah. I mean, our understanding of trees is always evolving, so...
You got to keep learning.
Exactly. You don't want to be stuck in the past. So to wrap it all up, here's what I learned from talking to all those amazing RCAs.
I'll listen.
Being an RCA, it's not just about letters after your name.
Right.
It's about challenging yourself, expanding your knowledge, and then using that expertise to make a difference.
Whether it's on one tree or a whole forest.
Exactly. Well, that's our deep dive on ASCA and the Registered Consulting Arborist. Thanks for joining us.
See you next time.
Thank you for joining us on today's exploration of professional arboriculture. By delving into the roles defined by the American Society of Consulting Arborists and the detailed distinctions from land arbor consulting, we've uncovered what it truly takes to ensure the health and safety of our urban forests. We hope these insights deepen your appreciation for the expertise behind every tree's care. Until next time, keep nurturing the green around you.